Alright, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a video on Apex once again, and today's video is going to be on something that's basically happened recently, and that is this season we have got something called the Ranked Rumble, which is like a new type of like ranked system that comes across every single weekend. It allows people to essentially get like new rewards and stuff like that, which is cool, but obviously there's been a lot of critique about the mode because there's just been a lot of like mini kind of issues in that like the pros don't really value it because the actual rewards that you get from it are not really that worth it, and it's like even when you get the rewards it's like okay cool I guess, and then casual players who don't really play the game that often are kind of just bogged down a little bit because if you simply are just playing in silver lobbies or bronze lobbies, you are naturally going to get a lot more points for the least amount of kind of effort that you put into it. So basically, casual players are really gonna like kind of like just get the rewards for free almost all the time, by putting quite like not really that much effort in, because it's not really that difficult to get like 2,000 points out of like 10 games, like your best 10 games. It's not that difficult. And then if we take like the average person who's like in gold platinum level, they're kind of getting put with people who are the silvers quite a lot of the time in these ranked rumbles. And so it's a little bit unfair for them as well because they have more points that they're losing per game because they're in higher tiers. And so it's just a massive, like, convoluted mess of just like people in different tiers, and it's not really fair. Now, how I think this should be improved is by actually having a tournament system. I don't know whether this is just the testing ground for a tournament system or something like that, but I would love to see something like this come at the game because I think a lot of people like watching the ELGS, and watching pros compete in a new type of system that is obviously separate to ranked. Obviously, ranked has its whole placement kind of thing where the higher you are placement wise, the more points you get, or RP you get, and then same for kills as well. The higher you are placement wise, that also affects your kills. However, for ELGS, it's a little more simple, I guess, because this graph that you see right here is literally the whole pointing system. The only thing separate from this is the fact that you get to match point when you get to 50 points. And what match point basically means is if you get a win whilst on match point, you win the whole series. Now, we could actually see this come to the game, and I would love to see this come to the game in the form of tournaments, where, let's say, 20 teams, it would obviously work a little bit different to ranked because it would be the same 20 teams that you get put with. All queue up together. It would have to be pre-made squads as well because obviously going into solos is just like kind of a whole like problem in and of itself, because you need to have teammates that communicate. So it would have to be pre-made squads, all going into the same game, and you play a game, and if you die straight away, you just have to wait until the next game starts. And it would work in the very exact same format as ELGS. So everyone will play the game, depending on what position you get points, same with kills as well, and that would go towards a tally that you will have towards the end of the games that you play. So you go game 2, game 3, game 4, and then as soon as someone hits match point, if they then win a game after that, then they win the whole series, the whole tournament. Now, we could also see potentially like the whole ban legends thing as well, where like after every game, the most popular legend out of that tournament, that last game gets banned. That would be pretty cool because obviously there are metas that kind of change and shift all the time, so it would be cool to just have like that as well. It would also be pretty cool, just from like a kind of, I guess, casual player point of view, to get an easy little track into the pro scene. Because I would say if you win the tournament, because it'll only come like, maybe once a season or whatever, or maybe twice a season. Let's say if you win the tournament, you could then be put in the pro bracket, or like a pro bracket of the tournament that might happen later in the season, and there'll be essentially a higher stake involved. Now, when you go to the pro bracket, it would essentially be the same structure again, except rather than the person who wins the whole bracket being the person who, say, has, got a match point and then won that game, it would be something different as the winning condition. It would be whoever gets the most points after, let's say, 6 games or something, or maybe 10 games or whatever. And so you essentially play them 10 games and you want to try and get as many kills as you can, as high a placement as you can, because you are competing with everyone else in the game that is playing, who has won the previous bracket, just the casual bracket, who has then moved on to the pro bracket. You compete with all them other teams, all them other pre-made teams. And so it really does kind of move the ALGS system into the normal game. Now, I would say like the top 3 teams should get like a cash prize or something. That would be really cool. Obviously, Fortnite and all these other big games has tournaments in some way, shape, or form, and also cash prizes for the best teams. I would say the top 3 definitely deserve some cash prize, like maybe like 10,000 for number 1, 5,000 for number 2, and like 2,000 for number 3 or something. Just so that like basically like people who are just kind of like players that aren't recognized in the pro scene can actually have a chance. You can get your best mates, go into a game and play the how many games it takes to get the match point and win, then go to the pro scene, and you're competing against the best people in the entire game, and potentially might have a chance of winning it and then win some money alongside. So yeah, and obviously this would include having a leaderboard. That's why it kind of links to what I was talking about earlier with the whole ranked rumble thing, because we have a leaderboard in the system, in the game, that actually shows other players and the RP that they are gaining across 10 games. So it has the data on that. So it would just be kind of implementing that, but in a system for the pro bracket, on the tournaments. So it has every single player, and it shows you the top 3 at that time, the top 3 teams, and how many points they are on within them 10 games. So yeah, obviously it would be a little bit different to the Rank Rumble, because you can just keep playing games over and over and over and over and over again, and it only takes your 10 best games. For the actual tournament, it would just be your 10 games that you play, and that's it. So if you have a shit game and you lose points, or well, actually you don't lose points in the LGS, but if you get like 0 points in the bracket for a game, that's on your record. You can't change that. So yeah, I would really love to hear what you guys think about this, because I think this would be a really interesting way to adapt the Rank Rumble in a fashion that is actually more interesting for pros, because obviously they get to practice essentially what the LGS is like scrims and stuff like that, and potentially win money, but it also allows for casual players to actually have a chance into the pro scene, and gives them a chance to actually win some money, which is pretty cool. And I think it would also be really cool to like have like other unique rewards as well, so like banners and stuff like that, and even like a pop-up as well when like the tournament is actually finished. You'll have a podium kind of thing that pops up in the news announcements that says like, this is team number 1 and this is the person who won 10,000, team 2 won 5,000, team 3 won 2,000. It would be really cool to see that, because then the entire community will be able to play in this event that isn't just like a collection event or like an LTM. It's something completely new that only comes around once a season or twice a season. And it allows for like a spotlight onto these teams that have competed so well to get to first, second, and third, and obviously all the rest as well, that like people will be like, wow, like these are people who could be signed to actual teams to play in the LGS. But I would like to hear what you guys think about this. Is there anything that you think could improve this? Because I would really love to see this in the actual game. But yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Bye for now.